Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. It's good to see so many of you on this lovely May morning, finally feeling like
Good morning,
May's
everybody.
supposed
Welcome.
to after the yo-yos of weather we've been having. But yeah, great to see all of you this morning. We just have a few announcements as we get started. A lot of this is in your bulletin that you would have received as you came in. But two big announcements for things that are coming up fast. One actually is just a programming note, is that BEMA, which usually meets on the second and fourth Sunday evening of the month, and that's our discussion group that we're going through a podcast that is a long and winding journey through the entire Bible, but looking at it from more of a Jewish Eastern perspective and commentary, and just kind of looking at the text with fresh eyes. If you're interested in that, you should definitely check it out. However, next week, which is the fourth Sunday of the month, we won't be meeting. So that's just a little programming note. Tonight, correct? Yes, tonight we're having one of our community conversations. You may have participated in one of those over the last couple of years. That's where we take over JB's Pizza Parlor right up here on Eastern and Alger for a conversation on some way that something happened in current. We've done conversations about Christian nationalism and other topics of the moment, and how that intersects with our understanding of the faith and how we can be people of faith in the community in these issues. And tonight is called Hope in Action. We're going to hear from a couple different groups that are trying to have like a real boots on the ground physical, not altercation, but like a concrete response to the change and the aggressive and bad way that immigration enforcement has changed in the last couple of years. So, please do. You do have to sign up in advance because space is limited. It's 5:30 to 7 tonight. Oh, it's here. Here? Okay. Oh, the bulletin says 5:30 to 7. Okay. So, there's a QR code that may or may not work that you can use to sign up. Okay, so that will be here. So maybe there's more space. Okay, so there's more space. But please still register so we know how much pizza to have. Yeah, those have been good. If you haven't been to one, I'd encourage you to go. Yeah, those are great. And then registration is open. That's June 15th to 18th. This is our arts camp, but calling it an arts camp is underselling it. If I hear arts camp, I'm painting, drawing, maybe some clay. We have an incredibly creative community. Create has been going on over a decade, longer, 15 years, I don't know. It's been going on a long time, and the awesome thing about it is that all the creatives in this congregation pitch in, and we have, so think as broadly as possible. 3D printing, baking, chess, drawing. Yeah, like the things you think of when you think of arts camp are there, but it's so much more, and it's very, my kids have loved it since they've been old enough to do it. It's a cool thing because it's, if you have kids in this congregation, they're welcome. They will have a great time. It's a way for us, though, to also interact with the community, like be a place where the community can come and maybe interact with people who wouldn't otherwise want to interact with a faith community, can do that in like a non-threatening way. There's not an agenda. There's not an altar call at the end. It's just a way for us to, serve through gifts that we have like more than our fair share of really talented, creative people in this space, and so I would encourage you to register, and I will be doing that too after we talk to the kids about what they want to do. So I will turn it over to whoever's next.
Thank you, Elliot. Once a year in May, we take a moment to celebrate the seniors in high school who have graduated or are graduating this week. Graduation week is upon us. Last days have happened, I think, for most people. So we have a couple of people who are going to lead that celebration. So Janelle and Laura are going to come up here. But I would also like to invite Ezra and Amelia and Calvin to come up front. I'm so sorry, but you do have to stand up front and stand here and let us look at you and support you. So, yeah. Do you want me to go? Yeah. Hey guys. The three seniors that are here, Amelia, Calvin, and Ezra, along with Zach, began in branch students in 2019 when Brian and I were leaders. We had some fun in 2019 before the pandemic hit. Here's a mall scavenger hunt. Do you guys remember this? We repeated it in 2022. A lot of you adults also joined in, so that was really fun. We had a Christmas party. Look at those kids. That was at the Overmans. Here's Zach. This was game night. Ezra, we played a lot of apples to apples. We went sledding. This was all, Ezra, yours was after COVID, but all of these other ones were pre-COVID. And then when COVID restrictions came, we started your 7th grade year outside, if you remember that. The middle school girls were at our house with Mary and I, and the boys were at Matt's house with Matt and Brian. And these three, along with Zach, were some of our core kids who joined in consistently during middle school. So I have lots of memories of all of you. I've also known these seniors, though, long before they were in branch students. Amelia? I'm good. I think we met when you were in 2nd grade, when we joined Child Discovery Center. Calvin, I think we met you the week you moved to Michigan. Ezra, since we joined the branch in 2011, you guys have been here also. Zach and Brennan were friends from the get-go. So needless to say, these seniors are pretty special and close to my heart. We also have been so happy to have Jonas's family join us and call the branch their home this year, and we celebrate with you also. Here's a blessing to you seniors today and for some days to come. When we step through a threshold between what was and what will be, we do not go through empty-handed. We carry with us the tools and gifts we've received along the way. We've been given love and kindness, skill, and wisdom that not only propel us forward, but become the gifts we can offer to others. As you go through this threshold, may you know that we give you all our love. We will always be cheering you on, and you will always have a place here. We as a branch community are so proud of you, Amelia, Calvin, Ezra, Jonas, and Zach, at this milestone in your life, that we get to be here with you and join in your celebrations. God loves you, and so do we.
I should have been more creative, so present. So I wanted to just offer something for all of the parents, because this is also big stuff happening. And I feel that too. I have a 5th grader, and that's not a huge deal, and I'm feeling that emotion right up. So I was talking to a friend recently whose son graduated this week, and she was kind of feeling she's I almost feel ill. And we talked about how it feels like this like motion sickness where you're looking forward and looking back and looking forward and looking back, this constant push and pull. And it's just a huge moment for the students to say goodbye to this part of their life, but it's a transition for parents as well. So I just want to offer a short blessing. May you remember all the first days with love and gladness. May you get all the sleep you need as you rush from one event to the next. May the saying goodbye feel like saying hello to something new and beautiful. May you embrace this season of change with open arms and open hearts. May you find time to breathe, to look around and enjoy the moments of graduation, the cap and gowns, the hard bleachers, and the grad parties galore. May you delight in the ways that you helped, supported, and encouraged your student so they could get to this point. And may you know and feel how deeply loved and appreciated you are. Amen. Wait, we have gifts.
You can sit down if you want. We're going to take a moment to greet one another and maybe compose ourselves here, maybe. If you know one of these grads or one of these families, we invite you in this moment to go give a hug or share some tears, whatever. There's Kleenexes up here. So let's greet one another. If you're online, we'd love to hear from you as well this morning. 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 From you as well this morning.
Hey everybody, you know, when we took ownership of this building a couple of years ago, we knew there were some really big challenges with it, and I'm in one of them right now, our parking lot. This thing has so many Oh, dang nabbit! And I'm in one of them right now, our parking lot. This thing has so many Oh, dang nabbit! And I'm in one of them right now, our parking lot. This thing has so many Oh, dang nabbit! And I'm in one of them right now, our parking lot. This thing has so many Oh, dang nabbit!
You're a chatty group today. I love it. It is a celebratory moment full of hugs and tears and laughter and memories, and it is wonderful. We will have cake, by the way, afterwards to celebrate those grads. And if you are one of those seniors, no longer seniors, the graduates now, make sure you get a piece of cake. Your names are all on there as well. All right, we're gonna pivot here a little bit. No, that's not true. We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue celebrating. We got to celebrate these students and their families. Thank you to Laura and Janelle for making me sob. But today is a day to celebrate God's faithfulness to those families, to us as a community, to those students, but also as a community celebrating 20 years of God's faithfulness. We had a birthday party in January, and we told lots of stories of 20 years of history of the branch. We told stories of the partner organizations that have joined us in our building. We told stories of lives impacted. And today, we're going to take some steps into the future so that we can have all of those stories and so many more for years and years and years to come. Looking back over the past 20 years helps give us courage and hope for the next 20 and beyond. So that's what we're going to do today. So before we get into anything else, would you join me in saying the words that are up on your screen here? Eventually. They might be up on your screen. There they are. Your words are in gold, so whenever you see gold words, let's speak these together. Here we go. Let the earth rejoice. Let the rivers clap their hands and the mountains sing for joy, knowing that God delights in us. Here, where all are welcome, where questions are honored, where love is the language we speak, we celebrate the one who turns mourning into dancing. So let us lift our voices. Let us raise our hands. Let us sing and celebrate. For the Lord is good, and God's mercy endures forever. Well, the band comes up. I'm going to invite you all to stand, and you can join in this song about God's love. This song that we have sung many, many times here about love being the language that we speak. So would you stand and join us as we sing?
Lord, your love builds bridges that cannot be burned. It speaks truth that cannot be learned. It's a treasure we can never earn. It goes places we're afraid of going. It's not a fist, it's a hand wide open, reaching out to the down and broken. We believe your love is the strongest way. You're tearing down walls and you break our chains. Even in this darkness, hope will rise again. When we lay down our weapons and we let love win. Lord, we lay down our weapons and we let love win. Lord, your love is a friend to its enemies. It takes a hit, then it turns a cheek. You laid down your life for peace. And oh, love won't cast a single stone. It's never proven by words alone. You come alive in our flesh and bones. And in our souls we believe your love is the strongest way. You're tearing down walls and you break our chains. Even in this darkness, hope will rise again. When we lay down our weapons and we let love win. Lord, we lay down our weapons and we let love win. What if fighting for our beliefs looks more like surrendering? Though that's the hardest thing. And what if standing up for what's right means laying down our pride, even laying down our lives? We believe your love is the strongest way. You're tearing down walls and you break our chains. Even in this darkness, hope will rise again. When we lay down our weapons and we let love win. We believe your love is the strongest way. You're tearing down walls and you break our chains. Even in this darkness, hope will rise again. When we lay down our weapons and we let love win. Lord, we lay down our weapons and we let love win.
So today, sorry. Brennan, I had to switch mics. Mine is dead. Today we are kicking off a capital campaign. We are looking forward into the future with hope. We are saying we want to be a people who can be here and provide this space as a place of belonging and gathering and love and hope for lots and lots of years to come. And to do that, we need to fix some things. So that's what we're talking about a little bit today. But before we look into the future, we wanted to look back a little bit. We have partnership listed as one of our core values. You see this poster as you walk up the steps. If you come in off of 28th Street, each and every time you walk in, this is a big deal to us. From the very first moments of the branch's existence, partnership has been important to us. So we thought we would take just a minute here to name some of the partners. If you have been here for any amount of time, you probably know a partner or two that has been in this building. So we're going to do this random style. Ready? You're just going to, on the count of 3, you're just going to yell out who you remember. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, CCGR, AYA, haha, community partners, excellent. What about other building partners? The Blue Bridge, yep. What did you say, Bethany? The Nepali Church, thank you. You said 1, 2, Kevin. Oh, that's what you said. See, I heard it in stereo and I couldn't figure it out. Here's a few others. New Life Reformed, who owned this building first before we did, was a great partner to us in starting this expression up. CCGR, yep, a Spanish-speaking church, a Nepali-speaking church. Now we have a Congolese-speaking church in our building. Blue Bridge. There's even a martial arts academy. There's been some homeschool organizations. There's some random other partners that have had dance practice here. It has been a space where people can grow and people can belong and people can know they are loved. Gate Baptist is our current partner in the building, as well as we just signed a contract with another church. It is Elwell Seventh-day Adventist. We'll be using our building on Saturdays, so even more to celebrate, and that will continue for years and years into the future. We decided to take ownership of this building a couple of years ago, and we knew there were some things to do. Right? We knew that. And we said the big things we're going to figure out how to tackle, and that's what we're talking about today. But we've done a lot. All right, ready? We're going to do mass chaos again. What are the projects that we've done in the last couple of years since taking ownership of the building? Big or small? On the count of 3, you're just going to say them again. 1, 2, 3, go. Yep, exactly. All of the things. Numerous drop ceiling tiles have been replaced. A lot of painting has been done. Exit lights have been replaced. The outdoor lighting has been fixed. The concrete ramp to come in has been installed. Do you feel cool air? As of last week. Thank you very much. Wonderful. We've replaced a couple of HVAC units. There are more. Flat ceiling repairs. The stucco on the outside was repaired and replaced. Windows. We got a new sign out front. We have some new technology in here that helps us stream things. We redesigned the cafe. We have native plants planted. We have a bioswale coming. Maybe this week, hopefully this week that gets started. There's been a lot happening, and it has been good to invest in this space together, and we're going to keep on doing that. So those are good investments for years and years and years to come. All right. I'm going to let the kiddos head on downstairs. So Amy and Elsa and Clarence are going to take the kids downstairs. Before you go, let's speak a blessing over them. Join me in these words, would you? Friends, may your time together be filled with wonder, joy, and friendship. You are loved. We'll see you back here in a little while. Have a great time, kiddos. The rest of you, we've listed all of these things that we've done. There's more to come. So we have a little video that will give you a little preview of what we're doing here in the coming weeks. Oh, to come. So we have a little video that will give you a little preview of what
This is fun.
Our parking lot. This thing has so many.
So we have a little video that will give you a little preview of this is fun.
So this parking lot hasn't been touched for probably 30 years, and it is long overdue. It's one of the things that we need to tackle. Oh, my leg! So here's the big thing. Lots of potholes, sure. Roofs that need mending, yep. HVAC units that need, sure. But together, we can make a difference. We can set up this building. You know, when we took ownership of this building a couple years ago, we knew there were some really big challenges with it, and I'm in one of them right now, our parking lot. This thing has so many oh, dang nabbit! So this parking lot hasn't been touched for probably 30 years, and it is long overdue. It's one of the things that we need to tackle. Oh, my leg! So here's the good news. Lots of potholes, sure. Roofs that need mending, yep. HVAC units that need, sure. But together, we can make a difference. We can set up this building. Funny even the second time. All right, I love it. Good. Let's do it again. Do it again. You know, we felt like it would be a good and healthy thing to have a little bit of a laugh at the realities that we're kind of bumping up against here. In choosing to take ownership of this property, knowing that there were some big ticket items, those big ticket items are perhaps something that might make us feel overwhelming or that we have to take very, very seriously. And we do have to take them seriously. We are. But I think we don't have to lose who we are in the midst of this journey that we're going to take over the next few years. We still will do lots of laughing and self-deprecating jokes and things of that nature. Yeah. But we're starting today something called Rooted and Restored. This is what we're calling this effort that we're going to make over the next 3 years to help us raise the money that we need to address the issues with this property. We're kind of in this really interesting moment because what's kind of happened is that about 20 years of deferred maintenance has all piled up and kind of landed in the space of a couple of years where a lot needs to be addressed in a very short period of time. And we could feel badly about that and feel sorry for ourselves, or we could do what I think we're really good at doing, which is rising to the moment. And so, again, that's what this effort is going to try and get at. If we are able to raise the money that we hope to raise, we're going to be able to fully repave the parking lot. We'll put a new elevator in the 28th Street entrance. This is a huge thing for our values. To not have a fully accessible building is a real problem, not just practically, but again, it doesn't align with who we are. So an elevator helps. It does. It doesn't help. It solves that issue. We need to replace a flat roof. We have HVAC units, 2 of them that need replacing, the lights on our sign, and we have some carpet from the 1980s, if you can believe it. Some of it is in the nursery. Shame on us, the place where little kids are on the floor and whatnot. So these are big items. It's partly why it's taken us a little while to figure out how are we going to do this. What is the path forward? It's taken a lot of careful thought and planning to get to where we are today and what we're sharing with you. But I'm going to ask you in a little bit to imagine a world where these things are not an issue anymore. And you can start doing that now. If we can cross these things off the list, we put ourselves in a position where we have a lot of freedom and we have a building that is really fully ready to welcome anyone and for it to continue to be a place of growing and transformation. Okay. The big question, though, you're wondering, of course, though, is how much is this going to cost, right? Isn't that the question we all want to know? What's the number? These things are nice, but what are we talking here? Sarah's going to help us kind of understand that number. We're very, very fortunate. We have a disproportionate amount of creative talent at the branch, as Elliot was saying at the beginning. We also then just happen to have these gems of people who happen to have the right skills at the right time. Sarah works for a nonprofit that helps nonprofits raise money. That's what she does. And so we said, we're a nonprofit, and we need to raise money. Can you help us? And she's like, absolutely. So Sarah, come on up. Tell us a little bit about how we arrived at the number, the amount of money that we feel like we need to raise here. Yeah.
Yes. So Chris and the team looked at all the things that needed to be done and added up the numbers. And so at our last budget meeting, I think we're talking about $250,000 to $300,000 was what was going to be needed in the next 3 to 5 years in order to fix things. So I'm a fundraising consultant. It's actually not a nonprofit that I work for, but we help nonprofits. So
thank you.
just, I'm making all the profit. Just kidding.
Good girl. Yep.
Totally kidding.
You should.
So I was sort of doing some numbers in my head, and I went up to Chris and I was like, you know what? I think we should do a capital campaign. And so with the budget numbers that we were looking at, when we're helping a nonprofit figure out if they can even be successful with a capital campaign, one of the things we do is we multiply the yearly income that they bring in by 1.75 to 2.25 to figure out what the number is that's even possible over a 3-year campaign. So I was doing that. I was listening, but also doing math in my head. And so what that means is with our congregation and what we bring in, it's about $158,000 is our yearly budget if we take out the rental income. If we multiply that by 1.75, that means we could bring in between $277,000 through $356,000. Now, when we sort of talked that through, that seemed maybe a little high
for our congregation, because we are a smaller congregation, not hugely deep pockets that we know about. And so when we looked at what is our number for what's possible for the branch, $250,000 was the number that seemed to fit our group. And so, wow, it just happened to pretty closely match the things that needed to be done. So, yeah, God probably had a hand in that. So when you're looking at that number, that seems like a big number. Another thing my weird fundraising brain does is I start to build gift charts in my head. And so that was the next step, was kind of looking at what would it take at different giving income levels to make up that $250,000 goal. And remember, this is over 3 years. So Chris and Teresa are passing out a one-pager that has lots of great information about the campaign and the gift chart showing kind of the different levels of giving that are needed in order to make up the $250,000. So the idea behind the gift chart is that hopefully everybody can find a line that works for their budget. And one thing that we added that we don't always do with a capital campaign is we added a monthly amount, because maybe you can't write a $1,000 check, but you can give I can't remember what that amount is. You can give $33 a month for 3 years. And so that's what we did to try and make this a little bit friendlier for budgets of families with growing kids. And so there's just lots of different levels here. We are going to need some bigger dollar donors. That's just a reality with a total that we need. And so we've got hopes for a $21,000 donor, a couple $18,000 donors, but also there's going to be an important amount of giving needed at the $1,200 level and the $3,000 level. And so our prayer and hope is that everyone can kind of look at the chart. This isn't set in stone. If someone was like, hey, I'm sitting on $50,000, it's not on the chart, we would say, bless you,
Yeah, bless you.
we'll take it. So that's the giving chart.
Yeah. And as Sarah's saying here, this is kind of illustrative. You can and should do whatever you can and should do, and it might not fit one of these numbers exactly, but it does. One of the things that this did for me when Sarah first showed it to us is it gave me the realization that, oh, this is possible if you start to break it down, because in this second column, that number 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, that adds up to roughly the number of giving households we have here at the branch. So it's not like we're trying to imagine a scenario where we have all of a sudden 100 new people joining us. This is with our current community. And as Sarah said, it gives lots of room for lots of different places to be involved. Sit with it for a moment, kind of feel what this feels like, yeah. And while it may feel like a lot, I do want to share some, what I think is really encouraging news, and what I think you will is pretty encouraging too. One of the things that Sarah advised us to do was to meet with a handful of people prior to starting the campaign who we thought could be what in the biz gets called lead givers, people who are just a little bit ahead of the rest of us, and ask them to make a commitment ahead of time so that when you launch the campaign, as we're doing today, you're not starting at zero. You're starting with something that would help build momentum and also, I think, give some hope. This is possible, because the 250 number may not feel very possible. It might feel very scary. So we had a conversation with a handful of people. A couple of them are not here at the branch. They're people who don't come with regularity on Sunday mornings. They're not participants in our community, but they know us, or they know someone here, and they believe in what we're doing. And so we thought those could be some potential good lead givers as well. And I want to share with you the number, how much those folks have committed to giving to this campaign. So if I could have a drum roll. This is drum roll worthy. Yep. The number is Wait a minute. Do you think it's low or high? You think it's high? You think it's low? Yeah? Okay, okay. Drum roll one more time. For real, for real. Yep. Here's the number. Committed to. Yes, for sure. So this is people here, but also people outside of the branch who have said, we'll commit this over 3 years. If you're wondering, like, oh my gosh, did you talk to everybody at the branch except me? You know, are you kind of wondering that this morning? No. I'm doing the quick math, at least 2/3, probably almost 3/4 of our people were not talked to as lead givers. It means most of us have not yet decided whether or not we might be able to join this campaign, which I hope gives you some hope, which I hope makes you think, okay, wow, maybe this is possible. Maybe we can do this. The other couple things I want to say is that this is almost halfway there. There are some other possible ways for us to raise the money or gather the resources that we need. We're looking at a grant or the potential. Are there grants out there for accessibility needs? And I'm talking to someone tomorrow who works in this field, and we're going to, maybe there is. So we're going to explore that. We just, as Teresa said, had a new renter sign yesterday, pretty much. They're planning on being with us for a couple years. Their rental income is not in our general budget. We don't need it in our general budget. And so that money, or some of that money from their rent, could go towards this campaign. And you do the quick math, it could be tens of thousands of dollars over the course of 3 years. So there are ways for us to get here other than just us in this room giving what we can. And I hope that is an encouragement to you this morning. Hope that's an encouragement to you this morning. Okay. I do want to say a couple of other things. We need everyone. And I really mean that. I really mean that. And I think that there's a way for everyone to participate in the work that we're going to be doing over the next 3 years. Of course, if you can make a financial commitment of any size, that's a huge gift and it's needed. But for some of us, it may not be what we can do. Or we may today say, yes, I'm going to make a commitment, and 6 months from now, life changes dramatically and we can't anymore. There are other ways to join in the effort. Good old sweat equity is one way. So let me give you like a quick little idea. Some of these walls have not been painted in 20 years. Some of the rooms that we want to rent need painting badly. And we're either going to have to pay somebody to paint those rooms, or if we have some people who are willing to give some hours to paint some spaces, that would save us a lot of money. And that frees us then to have financial flexibility, right? So sweat equity, and there's lots of ways that could happen around this building, I promise you. That could be a huge way to join in this campaign. The other big thing that I'll just point out is, who do you know? Who do you know? Maybe you know somebody who would give money. That actually, I bet will probably happen. Someone here is going to know somebody who knows who we are and what we're trying to do here, and that's someone that they know would actually like to join our campaign. If you know someone, let us know. But it may be a different relationship that could be helpful, like someone who's really great with grants. The person I'm meeting with tomorrow, I did not know myself. Sarah Vanderwall connected us to her. So who do you know that maybe works in the grant world? Or who do you know who needs a space to rent, right? That's a huge way for us to gather resources. Do you know a contractor? Do you know an elevator installer? Please come and talk to us, you know. Who do you know that might be willing to work with us and not do it for free, but maybe cut us 5% off what the bid is that we have. Like, there are all kinds of ways that together we can make this a reality, right? So I want you to think about that and to see that no matter who you are, there is a way to join in this with us. Okay. I'm going to have Stephanie come on up, and Stephanie's going to share kind of what some next steps are given what we've been talking about here today. Stephanie, by the way, is one of our stewards. If you didn't know, she's a steward of resources. That's always good to say. Thanks for coming up and doing
So
this.
there's going to be a QR code up here that hopefully is going to work. This will take you to a form where you can make a commitment. This form is anonymous. We're not going to come hunt people down individually. We're not going to announce who does what giving. There are 2 stewards that will see names on this form, and we will write you thank you notes for whatever you put on this form, whether it's $5 or $50,000. You will get a thank you note from us. And if you don't want to fill the form out now, keep track of our socials, check our Facebook page. We'll keep showing you how to connect to this form because this is a 3-year campaign. So, and then the other way that Chris mentioned that you can be involved is if you know people that you would like to connect us with, whether it's contractors, whether it's potential grants, whether you want to offer some sweat equity, you can send that to this email address, thestewards@thebranchonline.org, and we will connect with you, either Chris or Teresa probably, or a steward will connect with you and help you get connected.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. So, just a quick word on this part of it. This form is simply what we're asking folks to do if they think they might be able to make a financial commitment is to fill this out in the next couple of weeks. We'd like to know by the end of the month where we're at. It'll help us plan for how we spend money, when we spend money. It'll give us a good sense of whether or not, we're on track to meet this, we're not on track, we maybe need to adjust. So if you don't have to do it today. In fact, we encourage you to go home and think about it. But if you're able to make a financial commitment, you'll fill out that form. Again, no one's going to see that except 2 of our stewards of resources. And as Stephanie said, no one's going to hold you to what you put on this form. We know that life over 3 years changes, yes? So in both directions, you might not be able to make a commitment today, but a year from now, you might be able to. We understand that will happen for some folks. And you may make a commitment today, and again, as I said earlier, in 6 months have to change that commitment or stop giving. We understand that that's going to happen too. And no one is ever going to track you down and come knocking on your door and saying, remember that Google form you filled out? Get out your checkbook. We're not leaving until you do. That's just not who we are. So this helps us give us a sense of where we're at. And then we'll start receiving gifts for those who want to start giving in June. We'll have ways to do that we'll let you know about here in the coming weeks. But we're starting with this form. All right. I'm going to pause here and just see what questions are kind of floating out there among you all. What are you wondering about? What are you curious about? What doesn't make sense? There are some FAQs on the back of this sheet that I think might be really helpful and worth looking at, but maybe there's not clarity enough here, or you have a different question. What are you wondering about related to anything with Rooted and Restored? If you're online, you can type it there too, and Eamon will yell it out if somebody types something in for us. Elliot. We're laughing, but yes, of course there will be a thermometer, yes. But in typical branch fashion, it can't be a thermometer. We had to do something different. And so we had this, Alyssa one of our stewards had a great idea of like crocheting this tree. And this tree was going to grow as things came in. And she started on it this week, and she realized, oh no, I'm in over my head. So this is what we have so far. I think we were hoping today to have about half of the tree built because we have about half of the money committed to. But this is what it will look like, and she's going to keep plugging away at it. And maybe if you are a person who's handy with these things, you would join in the effort. She would probably appreciate your help. But yes, we are going to have a thermometer of sorts. Yep. Yes, Nicole. Oh, we're volunteering her to crochet. Perfect. Melt, you too? No. Yes, perfect. You all are going to have a party, and this is going to be beautiful. Good. Yeah. Yes. Yep. 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 We will have a capital campaign fund for those who want to use the app to give. Yep. Yep. That's right. Yep. If you're going to give online, we would like you to choose the drop down. Yep, for that. We're going to ask actually people if they can to not give online. Because if you do give online, you know there are fees associated with it. If the individual wants to give online and wants to pay the fees, blessings to you, you know. But that's potentially a lot of money. And of course, if we are paying the fees, if that's what's elected to, then we're not going to have as much, you know, money as we would. So what we're asking people to do is to write a check, if you have a checkbook still, anyone, or send a check through your bank, and in the memo line write Rooted and Restored. Yeah. Yes, online bill pay is probably a great option. Yep. 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 Make sure somewhere you're indicating to us that you want it to go towards this. Yep. Yep. Yeah, Ben. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we are not going to wait until the end of the 3-year campaign to start doing some of these things. We're going to do them as the cash becomes available. What order are we going to do them in, I think is still to be determined. If you were asking me, I would probably say that the elevator is at the top of the list. It's both one of the more expensive items, and if we waited 3 years, that bid's only going to go up over 3 years, and it's one of the bigger ticket items. And again, aligning with our values, right? But if, you know, in the next 3 months, one of the heating and cooling units goes out, then we might have to pivot to that and do that first. So the stewards are still figuring that out, but our plan is to do things as we are able. Yep. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Amen. I see you, bud. I see you. Only if you're going to get in the costume, buddy. We can talk. I would love any creative ideas about a mascot for this campaign. Absolutely. 100% is my answer. Kevin, yes. Yeah, that's a great question. If we exceeded expectations and raised more money than we thought, yeah, is the answer. I mean, I don't know that we have looked terribly closely at that, but you know, there are the front doors and windows over here are so all the insulative kind of, it's all not working. So those windows and doors, the door got blown open by the wind a couple weeks ago. It really doesn't close anymore. So that would be a thing. This carpet is tired, you know, it's 20 plus years old, you know. There's various things. What else? What else do you want to offer? Was there another idea you had? Okay, no. Carpets filled with memories, can't get rid of it. Disagree. Agree to disagree. I don't know. Again, we don't really have a clear list, but yes is the answer. Okay. Well, you know how to ask questions. You know where to reach us. We suspect that as the days and weeks go on, other ideas or questions might surface, and we'd love to hear from you. That's for sure. To go with everyone this morning, will this QR code work? Who knows? Why don't you try it, though? Why don't you try it? This is going to take you to what's sometimes called like an emotion wheel. We've done all like the details of this campaign this morning, and you've got this sheet to take home. We want to do a couple of other things before we leave. And one is we just want to check in with ourselves and ask, how are you feeling this morning, having heard what you've heard? And maybe you know immediately the answer to that question. Maybe this wheel will help give you some language because you're not quite sure how you're feeling. We're not going to make anyone share their answer, although I am going to invite, if anyone wants to here in a moment, to share. But how are you feeling this morning after hearing what you've heard? Give you a minute here to just sit with that, think about it. Anybody want to share how they're feeling? What words come? Yeah, Nate. Starting us off strong, Nate. Okay, happy, optimistic, and inspired. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, appreciate that. Laura. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. Surprised, almost eager to get going. Love it. Yeah, Jeff. Good, good. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, worried, yeah. 250, yep. Mm. Good. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, quite. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Sarah. That's kind. Appreciate it. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Thanks, Joan. Proud and grateful. Mm. I do just want to say it's okay if anyone here is still feeling a little scared or anxious or worried. I am holding multiple emotions, and most of the time I am quite optimistic and hopeful and even eager some days at my best. And then there's other times where I'm more, again, anxious, concerned, and I'm holding both. Maybe you are holding more than one thing as well, or maybe you'll find that you are somewhere in this process. And all of it's okay. That's just what I want to say. Whatever it is, it's okay. And it's all part of the journey. Yeah. Okay, Teresa, move us along here.
I'll be honest with you. At the beginning of this morning, I was feeling some anxiousness and some nerves walking into a space like this to talk about money for an hour, right? We don't do that. So thank you, Sarah, for your words. But as this morning has gone along and as I've listened to all of you and I've watched you engage, you all inspire me and you all bring me hope. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing to do together. So thank you for being who you are. And for engaging in whatever we have to engage in together with hope. We've been talking about hope a lot since Easter. We've been using this book, Hope. I don't even remember the title of it. I've just been using it. A user's manual. Yeah, thanks. That should have been easy to come off my tongue. By Marianne McKibben Dana. And we've been walking through some of the themes that she's laid out. The section that comes next is called The Practice of Hope. I thought that was really fitting for today because she explains hope as a compass, as a way to orient ourselves, to have this vision of goodness and justice that is so compelling that we want to take action. That feels quite appropriate to me for this moment, doesn't it? This vision that we have for who we are and who we can be to others is compelling, and it makes people take action to the tune of $115,000 so far. I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to look into the future with eyes that want to see goodness and beauty and justice. We're aiming at something together. We're orienting ourselves in that direction and taking steps to get there. There's plenty of bad news around us each and every day. You and I both know it. And if we let the news orient us, it will likely be toward despair. But when hope is our orientation, we see goodness around us. We start to notice more than the bad. We start to get involved. We start to lead things. And we come to find out that every little bit of it matters. Even if we make things different for one person, even if we are able to build an elevator so someone can get into our space easier, it matters. Every single piece does. In the Old Testament, in the Hebrew Scriptures, there are a lot of names for God. Each name describes a different characteristic of God. It's quite beautiful, actually, instead of just saying God or Lord, right? It gives us a broader picture of who God is. I read this week that one of the earliest recorded names for God is HaMakom, which means the place. God is the place, the foundation. God is stable and sure. We said these words earlier, that God's mercies endure forever. And we rest in that. We want others to experience that too. That stability, that sure foundation. That's what this campaign is about. We chose the words rooted and restored because we are firmly rooted. Our roots are sure and stable. And restoring this building and this property to a space that can thrive for generations to come gives us the ability to be HaMakom for others. For those who walk into this space on a Sunday morning or on a Saturday, for those who come to the art camp that is more than an art camp in the summer, for those who come to a martial arts class, for those who come seeking a different experience of education for their kids, for those who come for any other future reasons that we don't know about yet. A space where we and so many others can gather, grow, and belong for generations to come.
I want to invite you to consider these questions for a moment, but not by yourself. I actually want to invite you to just circle up with 4, 6, 8 people and ask yourselves, what would the future look like if we were able to do the things that we are hoping to do? So this is a little bit of an imaginative exercise. You've got to flex that muscle a little bit. And you're not going to have 10 minutes to do this. This is just like a quick turn and have a quick conversation or two. What would the future look like? What would change? What would be possible if we meet this goal together? All right? Find a handful of people nearby, have a quick couple of seconds of conversation, and then we'll wrap up the morning here. Ready, set, go. All right, another 30 seconds or so. All right, anybody willing to share one thing that kind of struck them about what the future might look like? What might be different, what might be possible? Amen. Yep. Love it. Thanks, man. Somebody else have a hand up over here? Yes. Yeah, people have a sense of ownership. Absolutely. Yep. It's one of the gifts. Heather. Yeah. Could this be a place for people who maybe don't call the branch home, but still find this to be a safe place of gathering, of belonging, of connecting? Yeah, good. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, this stuff kind of has been hanging over us for a while, and I think if we can do this together, we're going to have freedom. That's the word that comes to my mind as I listen to you. Yep, and that will be a tremendous gift. Yeah, good. Well, I'm going to have the musicians coming up. We're going to sing one more song this morning. Bigger Table is the title of this song. I think this song is perfect given what Heather has said and Jeff and others. This song is a reminder that God is building a bigger table. We are trying to build a bigger table. That's really what this campaign is about. It's about making more space for more people. So I invite you to stand and join us as we sing this song here to close.
Come gather round the mystery of love in our broken history, where grace heals the fault lines in me time and time again. It welcomes me in to a house for the hungry, a well for the thirsty, where all saints come together, shoulder to shoulder, a welcome for the traveler, and new wine for the vineyard, in all all things, and God is able. Love has a bigger table. Show me who is my neighbor, the Christ hidden in the beggar. 'Cause love doesn't meet a stranger, love calls them friend and welcomes them in to a house for the hungry, a well for the thirsty, where all saints come together, shoulder to shoulder, a welcome for the traveler, new wine for the vineyard. In all things, God is able. Love has a bigger table. There's an empty seat waiting next to me. We gotta make some room for each other. My enemy, be my family. Fill my cup till it's running over. There's an empty seat waiting next to me. We gotta make some room for each other. Let my enemy be my family. Fill my cup till it's running over. A house for the hungry, a well for the thirsty, where all saints come together, shoulder to shoulder, a welcome for the traveler, and new wine for the vineyard. In all things, God is able. Love has a bigger table. Whoa. Oh, love has a bigger table. Love has a bigger table.
Love it, love it, love it. Hey, no pastors were harmed in the making of that video earlier, but some pastors did not make it out of the dermatology office with quite the same good luck. This is a little bit of skin cancer that got taken care of this week, and so there, I get to say that to everybody all at once, and now you don't have to wonder, or I don't have to field 100 questions. Yeah, you didn't notice anything, of course. Yeah, totally, no big deal. There's a picture up here. Eamon, would you put up? One of the final things that we'll do here to kick off this campaign is plant a tree. Again, if you can't tell, we're leaning into our name here, right? Rooted and restored, and the thermometer that isn't a thermometer, and we're going to plant a tree. And what we're doing today is digging the hole for it, okay? And it's going right there. That's the corner of the front of the building. And then we're going to start next Sunday morning. I know a lot of you will, it's holiday weekend, a lot of you might not be here, but if you are here, we're going to start the morning outside. We're going to plant the tree, we're going to have food and coffee, and then we'll move into the building for the rest of our morning. So we're going to dig the hole today. If you want to be a part of getting dirty, or not, but at least helping to dig the hole, there will be a couple shovels out there, and we'd love for that to happen today. So you can do that on your way out to your car this morning, all right? Okay. Friends, you are such a gift, as so many have said here this morning. Our appreciation for each other is, again, it's just something to be so grateful for. You're an amazing person. Together we make a really wonderful community of people. And we're going to move into the future together and see this place restored. And I'm glad to know that you'll be on that journey with us. All right. As you go this week, may you be people of hope, as Teresa talked about. May hope be your compass this week. And as hope is your compass, may you see the good and the beauty that is in this world. May you point other people to it, and may it be an encouragement and a joy to you. Be those people this week. Thanks for being here. Enjoy the beautiful day. Glad you're here. Go dig a hole.